Hi, and welcome to our tutorials. What the tutorials are is an effort to give you instruction on each one of the individual techniques that are contained in some of our cardio programs. A lot of times I've seen people engage in cardio fitness training without understanding how to properly punch, how to properly do the mechanics of the kick, so they're not really receiving the maximum benefit. I want you to pay attention to each one of the tutorials that we have here. Take advantage of the fact that they're available to you. You can repeat them as often as you need to have reminders of how to perform the techniques correctly. Because a lot of times injuries occur from failure to use proper form in training. So that is a very, very vital and important aspect of training that I want to make sure is included as a part of your training with us. So please take advantage of the tutorials, watch all of them, be sure of how to perform the technique, practice each one of the individual techniques separately, and this way you can get the most out of the training experience with us. Thank you. Welcome to our tutorial for the knee kick. In the knee kick, the way I'm going to have you perform it is going to be from a fighting stance. So let's put our left foot in front, keep our hands up as a guard. You can keep them open or closed for this. What we're going to do is bring our knee up. Ideally, I want you to bring your knee up to your waist height, at least as high as your waist. Those of you that are a little more flexible, have a little bit more motivation, bring the knee up a little bit higher. Now, also, you're going to point the toes when you do the knee kick. Pull your hands to the hip that's being extended with the knee. So here, this kind of feeling. Here, this kind of feeling. The idea is simulate pulling the opponent into the knee technique. Let's go, guys. Show it a few times. Just keep moving. That's the idea. Keep the toes bent this way, okay? So that the foot is straight and straightened down. As you watch, they're pulling in. I want the hands to be pulled to one hip as the knee comes up. She's simulating grabbing the opponent's head, pulling it into the knee. That's the idea behind the knee kick. Yes, using a little bit more force. That's it. That's it. Twist. That's it. Twist. Good. Very good. Good. Vigorous pulling motion. Pulling motion. Pulling motion. Very good. Very good. Make sure to practice the knee kick in this manner so that you become effective. Use both sides of the body. Change feet, guys. We're going to make sure to use both sides of the body. During your cardio training, when you do your knee kick, you're going to be raising your heart rate because it's going to simulate that frequent motion with the knees, and also raising the knee higher is going to challenge your flexibility a little bit. So make sure that you please use caution when you start. Make sure you've warmed up properly and practice this in the manner that we're showing you here on this tutorial. This is the knee kick. Okay. Welcome to the tutorial for the front kick. In order to do the front kick properly, put your left foot forward. We're using the back leg. Similar to the way the knee kick is done, we're using the momentum. We're bringing our knee up, and then from this chambered position with the knee, we're throwing the kick out. So it comes out, snaps, and then comes back. It snaps and comes back. I want you to think of it as if you have a giant rubber band attached to your ankle, and you pull up and kick quickly and then come back. It's a front snapping kick, and it should come up quickly and come back. That's the idea of the kick. Let's demonstrate, guys. A few front kicks. Again, one of the most important points is to bring the knee up and get the knee involved. Sometimes when I see people do the front kick, they don't have a chamber. They're just throwing their foot out anyway. A couple of points to concentrate on. Try to use the ball of the foot. Don't just point the toes when you do a front kick. This is a martial art, and you want to kick as a martial artist kicks. Use the ball of the foot. The ball of the foot is the area that you stand on when you raise on your tippy toe. This is the ball of the foot. So use that area when you're doing your front kick. And make sure, snap your kick out, snap it out. And use that motion. Try to make sure that you keep your hips involved in doing the kick and thrust your hip forward. When I say thrust your hip forward, watch the hip motion. Boom. This is the hip. Boom. That's the hip motion for the front kick. You want to keep that motion throughout and keep it continuous. All right? Practice on both sides of the body and make sure that you're utilizing the ball of the foot for the kick. This is important when you're doing your front kick. Now, welcome to the tutorial for the roundhouse kick. Let's get started. In order to do the roundhouse kick, let's put our left leg in front. And what we're going to do is make that leg light by transferring the weight to our back leg. From here, now that the leg is light, we're going to chamber the leg, kick, come back down. Chamber the leg, kick, come back down. So just as with the front kick, there was a snapping motion, I want you to think of that as the roundhouse kick. So for example, if I use my elbow, I point my elbow at my target, and then I can slap out my hand this way. It's going to be the same principle with the roundhouse kick. Just as my elbow can point towards you, snap out the hand and bring it back, it's the same principle with the roundhouse kick. My knee points at you and snaps out and comes back down. That's the idea of the roundhouse kick. So let's watch the way this kick is being done as my assistants here are showing proper form for the roundhouse kick. Now, as you can see, you turn your body, position your weight. That's the idea behind the roundhouse kick. Shift, position your weight. Shift, kick, down. Shift, kick, down. That's the idea of the roundhouse kick. Shift, kick, down. Shift, kick, down. That's the idea. You're strengthening the muscles of the body. You're making sure that you hit with the proper area. I want you to point your toes when you do this kick properly. Now we're going to turn our attention to the bags, and we're going to show you how to make a little contact with the roundhouse kick. Now, once again, the same principle applies. We're going to use the foot that's in front, and you're going to see a shift of the body, and you bring the knee up, you kick, and using the instep of the foot, that's the top of the foot, the part of the foot that has the shoelaces on it. So it's this part of the foot. You want to hit the target with the top of the foot and come back down. That's how we're doing it. Okay, let's see it, guys. Ready? Go. Good. Positioning, very good. Nothing changes when you're hitting the heavy bag. Nothing changes. You do the kick in the identical way as we were practicing it without the heavy bag. That's the idea. Just touching the bag with the top of the foot. As you can see, they're not going for a tremendous amount of power at this stage. All we're doing is working the proper form of the kick. Very important principle in working with the heavy bag. Very good. Very good, guys. Thank you for watching. That concludes our tutorial for the roundhouse kick. We'll see you on the floor. Now we're going to show you in this tutorial the side kick. Let's begin by putting our left foot forward. Our hands are up. Now, as in other kicks, we're going to transfer our weight to our rear leg. We're going to bring our heel up into a direct chamber. So it's a straight shot from my chamber to my target. Straight out, back, and then down. That's the idea. Up, shift the weight, heel up, kick, back, and down. It's a straight, linear kicking technique. Let's see it a few times. Good. Now, one of the principles of doing the side kick properly is shift the weight, chamber the foot, point the foot at the person, then kick, boom, and then down. Again, chamber, hold, point the foot at the target, and kick. That's the idea. So you want to make sure as much as possible to practice positioning yourself, pull your foot up so you can keep your balance. It doesn't matter if your kick is here or your kick is waist height. Doesn't matter. Make sure that the mechanics of the kick are correct. That's the most important thing. Now, from here, let's take it to the bags. Very good. Okay, guys. Good. We're using the heel of the foot as the target with our body. So the heel of the foot is what we're trying to hit the bag with. Good. Shift, heel of the foot. Good. Hi and welcome. In this tutorial, we are going to explain how to properly do what we call the hook kick. Now, take your left foot, put it forward, hands are up. Now, to explain the hook kick, let's go over and review the mechanics of a couple of the other kicks that we've done. We've learned that we have to transfer our weight, and doing the roundhouse kick involves chambering the leg, kicking out, coming back. Doing the side kick involves transferring the weight, bringing the foot up, kicking out, and coming back. Doing the hook kick similarly involves transferring the weight, chambering the foot, and from here in the chambered position, you're going to make a hooking motion with your foot out and back. So the idea is here, shift the weight, chamber the leg, then from here, circle, hook, and then down. Little complicated kick. In the beginning stages, transfer the weight, bring the foot up, hook. You can go to a low level and then come back. So you build the strength in the muscles that you need to perform the hook kick properly. There's no advantage to kicking high and kicking improperly. So again, transfer the weight, bring the chamber up, everything comes out of the chamber. And then from here, hook the kick around and then come back down. Again, transfer the weight, chamber up, hook, and down. Now let's take it to the bags. Okay, moving towards the bags. The idea is going to be to do the same thing. We're going to transfer the weight, bring the leg up, kick, and down. We're hitting with the whole sole of the foot when we do the hook kick properly. Good. Good. One of the aspects of the kick that I want to point out, transfer the weight, bring your chamber up from the chamber position, hook into the target with the sole of the foot, and then come back down to a standing position. So it's here, up, hook, down. Nice and easy, all in one motion. Okay, continue, guys. Good. Very difficult technique to do, but it's worth the investment of time. Even black belt level practitioners have a difficult time doing this technique properly. But again, in your martial art training and your fitness training, what you're going to want to do is push yourself. It's a complicated kick, but it is a kick that absolutely I've used personally in both serious self-defense situations and in tournament situations with much success. So I recommend to you to practice the hook kick as one of the techniques in your arsenal. Thank you, guys. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the floor. Okay, welcome. In this segment, what I'm going to do is go over and break down the different moves of kickboxing that we're going to be doing in some of the workouts that you're going to be participating in with us. Form is of maximum importance, so I'm going to want you to pay particular attention to how to do these techniques in this tutorial. One of the most basic things that I want you to do is learn how to make a fighting stance because we use that position to go in and out of the techniques quite often. To make a fighting stance, step out primarily with your left foot first. Okay? It's going to be a normal size step. You're going to keep your toes going in the direction of the step. So as you can see, both my knees are slightly flexed and my hands are going to be up where my elbows are down and in. This is the basic position. On my rearward hand, the hand that's furthest away, my hand is going to be near my cheek, elbow down. The same thing is true of the front hand. It's going to be about even with my shoulder, my jaw area up this way. So if you look at it again from the side, I turn to the side so you can see, I'm going to be basically putting the weight on the balls of my feet, My hands are going to be up to protect my upper body and upper area here, my face. From here, the first technique we're going to go over is the jab. To do the jab properly, you extend your foot, you lean into it, you get behind your blow with your shoulder and snap it back. You bring it out and back. The little foot movement that I'm doing brings my body weight into the blow and back. Bring it in and back. Push it in and back. In and back. The whole time this rear hand stays up. This is the jab. Moving forward. Do it just a few times to get familiar with it. As you get familiar with it, you can increase the speed of the technique. The contact area is going to be the first 2 knuckles of the fist. Make sure the fist is turned over properly. Okay. The next technique I want to go over with you, the cross. We call it a cross because it comes across the body. Across the body. Now, in this position, I want you to pay attention to what's happening here. From the guard position, my hand goes out, my hip is rotating, my shoulders are rotating, and I land on the target. Notice my back heel is up as I lean in. I snap the blow back. So my hip and shoulder are all engaged in this technique. When I extend like this, my other hand is still up. So in other words, I place my hands always up by my face area, my cheek area, and if one hand goes out, the other hand is still up. If the other hand goes out, my other hand is still up. I'm always in a protected position. So let's practice the jab and cross combination. Stepping in, 1, then 2, and back. Again, 1 and 2, and back. 1 and 2. Rotate those shoulders and hips and back. Always keep the elbows in, keep the shoulders relaxed, but make sure that you're applying the power and snap in each one of the techniques. The next technique that I'd like to go over with you is the hook. Done from the fighting stance, what's going to happen is I'm going to lower my front hand. As I turn, I'm turning my hip and the ball of the foot. I snap back. So down, over, and back. Down, over, and back. If we look at how the hook is being done, the opponent's guard is here. So if Leah is my partner, she turns towards me. What I want to do with the hook is go under and hook into the body. That's the purpose of dropping that hand down and hooking in, whether it's with the front hand or the back hand. Okay, that's the idea. So from here, again, drop it down. Notice the other hand didn't move. Pivot on the front foot. Turn your knees and hip. Boom. There's the punch. So you want to make sure that your hip is engaged. You want to make sure that the weight is transferred properly, and then you snap back. So there's a lot of interaction here with the hip and the turn. Hip and turn, same time. Boom, this feeling. Let's go through it a few times, just nice and easy. 1, and back. 2, and back. 3, stop it on an imaginary wall each time. And back. 4, and back. And 5. And back. One of the common mistakes with doing the hook is too far. Too far. The endless hook. Okay? We don't want that. What you want to do is stop and come right back. Stop and use the muscles to stop the technique on an imaginary wall that's right there. You don't want to overextend because it puts you in a bad position. The next technique we're going over is the uppercut. For the uppercut, you're going to dip down and use your legs. So notice the motion here with my body. I dip down, so I'm rotating my shoulder a little bit, dip down, and then lower the hand and come up with the legs. Watch again. It's a kind of circular motion. So I dip down, lower the hand, up with the legs. Dip down, lower the hand, up with the legs. As I dip down, notice the hand. I'm never unguarded. I drop my hand, I come up and back. Controlled motion is the key. Let's see this a couple of times from my group here. When they drop down, they're in a guarded position. Now from here, what we want to see, don't make the space too big in this area. Go right from there using the legs, come right up. Boom. That's the idea. So you want from here, cover, drop your hand down, and then use the legs to come up. Do it again. Drop down, up. That's it. Using the strength of the legs in order to make the blow more effective. For training purposes, same thing. You can go up even higher to get a nice stretch in here with your technique. So when you're here, you can even go up high. That's fine. But don't overextend. Don't try to do it too quickly, too soon. So the idea is use control. So when you're doing your uppercut, here, that's fine. As you progress, you'll be going here, up a little higher. You'll feel it in the upper body. Okay? The next technique that we're going to go over is a combination involving all of the techniques we've done so far. So, from here, step into it, jab, cross, hook. Now use the other hand, uppercut. Now let's do it again. Come back. Jab, cross, hook, uppercut. Now, notice when we're doing this, that our face is never unguarded. We never completely drop our hands down. So, when we jab, this hand is there. When we cross, this hand is there. When we hook, this hand is back there. When we uppercut, here we are again. That's the idea. You want to always replace your hands as they need to be replaced. You need to do that. That has to be automatic. So let's do that combination a couple of times. Nice and easy. Jab, cross, hook, uppercut, back. Jab, cross, hook, uppercut, and back. Jab, cross, hook, uppercut, and back. Jab, cross, hook, uppercut, and back. By now you should have the idea of the technique. Practice the repetition of the technique again and again and again. Now, from your fighting stance, I want you to do a simple combination of a jab, cross, hook. And the purpose of the hook in this case is to prepare you sideways so that you can do a kicking technique. Let's do a three-point combination. 1, 2, 3, and back. 1, 2, 3, and back. 1, 2, 3, and back. 1, 2, 3, back. 1, 2, 3, back. 1, 2, 3, back. 1, 2, 3, back. You get the idea? That's the motion. Thank you for watching the tutorial. I hope it affects you in a positive way and gives you the confidence that you need to be able to do the techniques the way we do them in the sessions. Good luck.